Human Rights of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Correction. As you will have noted, it is not Madame Binti. It's an honor for me to give the floor to Mr. Mohamed Basti, Deputy Minister of the Islamic Republic of Iran for Foreign Affairs.
Good morning to everybody, Mr. President, Honorable Ministers and Head of Delegation, Madam High Commissioner, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I have the distinct honor and pleasure to address on behalf of my government this high-level segment of the Human Rights Council. The Islamic Republic of Iran highly values this august body as part of its dedication to the promotion of human rights and dignity throughout the world. Mr. President, Iran's commitment to the protection and promotion of human rights remains steadfast. Such pledge is deeply rooted in its willingness to achieve the goal of a brighter, happier, and more prosperous future for its citizens and its desire to work for the betterment of their lives. Inspired by its rich historical and cultural heritage, which has justice, righteousness, benevolence, and respect for human dignity as its core value, Iran will continue at local and international level to promote human rights based on interaction and cooperation. The Islamic Republic of Iran's vibrant democracy is based on a constitution that is a vivid proof of the sublime aspiration, ideal, and the roadmap of the future of our nation. A salient feature of our constitution is its explicit emphasis on all intrinsic pillars of human rights. As a founding member of the United Nations and a party to major international human rights instruments, Iran upholds its constitutional and international obligation and has taken a genuine and long-term approach to safeguard human rights. There are ample evidence which indicates my country's commitment in civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights. As a case in point, on June 2013, the next presidential election will be held, and the people of Iran, by casting their direct vote, will decide the future president of their country. Mr. President, this has been our vision, that human rights should be seen as common heritage of humanity, which has been initiated and developed by valuable contributions of all civilization and culture. Basic principles and components of human rights, such as non-discrimination, justice, equality, and due process of law, are necessary prerequisites for every society seeking prosperity and welfare of its citizens. Promotion of these rights, along with individual states' efforts, requires collective commitments and willingness of all states to cooperate and to listen and learn from each other and to respect diverse cultural heritages and traditions, while acknowledging that no single state could claim its perfect record in human rights. With such understanding, the Human Rights Council's performance is critical not only for its contribution towards improving the functioning of the UN human rights machinery, but also for creating an environment for constructive dialogue and cooperation to move beyond the prevalent atmosphere of confrontation among governments. The establishment of UPR as a transparent, universal, and permanent mechanism is a genuine characteristic of the Council. Conclusion of the first cycle of the UPR gives the hope that we may replace confrontation with a more cooperative and promotional approach at the service of respecting human rights and dignity. However, there is a real need to avoid exploitation of human rights, in particular the United Nations Human Rights Machinery. Mr. President, existing human rights mechanisms have enjoyed Iran's extensive cooperation in the past. So far, it has had the highest number of visits by the special mandate holder in the region, 6 of whom visited my country since 2003. Additionally, Iran's invitation to the High Commissioner for Human Rights to visit the country is standing. Iran has also regularly and consistently responded to the communications from the special mandate holder of the United Nations Human Rights Council. On October 2011, third periodical report of the Islamic Republic of Iran on the implementation of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights was considered by the Distinguished Human Rights Committee. And on May 2013, the second periodical report of Iran under the Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights will be considered. These are reflections of our sincere desire to remain cooperative and committed in fulfilling our international obligations. Mr. President, Middle East is undergoing a highly critical moment. Tired of corruption and foreign domination, its people are enthusiastically appealing for their rights to freedom and independence from foreign domination, tyranny, and despotism. Such legitimate demands of people should be respected and honored. Governments in the region burden the responsibility to listen and pay due attention to these requests and fully observe the fundamental rights of their people. It is not for the outsider to meddle in, nor should they manipulate their destiny and future, which should be a free and democratic one. They also need to avoid repeating the mistakes they have made in the past to serve their narrow political and economic interests through supporting extremists and terrorists. Foreign and military intervention would not yield democracy or respect for human rights. Mr. President, gross and systematic violation of human rights in the occupied Palestinian territory, which emanates from the racist attitudes, remain a matter of deep concern for all. The tragic plight of the Palestinian people, who have been suffering for over 6 decades from occupation and the consequent deprivation of their most basic national and human rights, has not been alleviated. The depth and expanse of the gross and systematic violation of human rights of Palestinian people by Israel, in total blatant defiance of international law, numerous UN resolutions and human rights principles, is more than known to the international community. Not surprisingly, such policy enjoys continuous support of some self-acclaimed human rights preachers in the West, which is by and large based on their political interest and a clear manifestation of double standard as well as politicization of human rights. Mr. President, finally let me underline that Human Rights Council, entrusted with a historic and critical mandate for promotion and protection of human rights on a global scale, can only rise to the challenges through relying on the cherished principle of objectivity, impartiality, transparency, and consensus. Convinced that the best approach to promote and protect human rights across the globe is to engage in a meaningful and sincere interaction and cooperation. We look forward to continuing our close cooperation with the Council and its members to realize our objective of attaining greater global prosperity, justice, and equity through the enhancement of all human rights for everybody. Thank you, Mr. President.
Je remercie Son Excellence, Monsieur.
I thank His Excellency, Mr. Mohammed Mehdi Akhondzadeh Basti, for his statement. It is now an honor for me to invite Her Excellency Ms. Sakina Binti